Hey, my wonderful, wonderful, beautiful, and lovely people. A pleasant afternoon to everybody. Beautiful people, I have to take this time to extend sincerest apology, my humblest apology to the mother of the 9-year-old. I feel disappointed within myself, and also I'm disappointed with the media and other relevant authorities involved. I should have waited. I normally wait before vlogging on an issue. And there are some credible sources of information that will posit information. I consider the Gleaner to be one, the Observer to be one, and so forth. And when I saw the posting online as it regards, and it even came on the news, I said this has to be a credible information about the bleaching of the face of the 9-year-old child. And the mother came and said, it is not bleach, it is a hydrocortisone. So for those of us like myself who suffer from, I don't even like to speak that over my life, to be honest, but it's something that I had. From time to time I will have flare-ups. Eczema, it comes in different forms. Sometimes you see like skin abrasions, like it gives your skin a discolored look. It looks, like you wonder if the person has leprosy sometimes, or somebody throw acid on the person. That's how, when they have a bad case of it, it comes out in the form of rashes, it comes out in the form of blotches, which I remember mentioning in one of the videos that I had directed to the mother as it relates to the perceived bleaching. Now, because of the steroids and whatever other elements within the hydrocortisone, it may sometimes lighten the skin because it has to get the skin in one tone. So sometimes when you see people with discolorations and they look pitchy-patchy, they look, how they have some multiplicity of colors, it is because maybe they're suffering from some skin abrasion like eczema. I think psoriasis kind of have a similar look, and so on, or rosacea. One of them, I think it's rosacea, sometimes can look, it just looks discolored and different. And people will do everything to try and get rid of it so that they can get their skin in one tone. So it's not a matter of bleaching in the way that we think, because the bleaching elements are vastly different from what is in the hydrocortisone, because it has to have elements to get rid of the rashes, for example, because rashes are also involved, or as I say, skin abrasions where it looks blotched or burnt. It just looks discolored. And I can imagine that because he's dark and then he has the eczema, it may give him a blotched look. So when she's using the cream, so when the mother is using the cream, it may look as if he's being bleached, because it lightens the skin before it gets it back into a sense of normality. And eczema, it is ongoing. I remember going online to see there is a cream that they have that they claim can get rid of it permanently, and I know it's that cream that is like a jar about maybe this size or smaller for like $300 and odd US. I'm not sure how effective it is, if it's a waste, because the guy was showing some whatever it is with the body and the cells that will kill whatever it is, so that it never affects the human being again. And I feel so bad. I feel so ridiculous that I did not wait. I'm also disappointed in the media, the different social media or traditional media that comes via social media as well, that would get the little boy, knowing that he may not necessarily understand. And depending, you have a thing called leading questions, you have a thing called closed-ended questions. His brain is still developing, because he's still going through the cognitive development stage, the stages of development, which is usually between, generally when you look at it, 0 to 12, where you solidify who the individual is going to be. And then thereafter, you have different stages of preteen to adult development. And possibly there were leading questions asked. He's not that savvy and witty and critically gifted to know how to answer questions that may be leading. I say maybe. He's also not at the stage to understand a question that is open-ended versus closed-ended. It could be very much closed-ended. So it could be a case like, which bleaching cream is she using? That's closed-ended, as opposed to, is she using something that possibly is causing skin lightening of the skin, which is more open-ended, where he can say no or yes, but it is not bleaching, it is a hydrocortisone. The poor mother, how I'm glad they blocked her face out, because she must be in so much shock and horror. Now I can understand how she feels. Well, this has nothing to do with color now. Whether you're dark-skinned or you're fair-skinned, as a matter of fact, if you're darker, it may not be as bad, because it's like black on black, if you understand what I mean. But if you're a lighter skin and you see something dark, some dark circles or dark blotches, it's going to show up more. It's like having on white clothes that is messed up versus dark clothes. If this is messy, it's not going to look as bad as if I have on white and it's messy. It's going to look really horrid, really horrible if I have on white and the white is messy, versus having on black and the black messy. So they understand that when somebody's skin is lightening, it doesn't necessarily mean that the person is bleaching. You have toners, for example. As I said, nobody wants to know that they have skin discoloration. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. I remember some time ago when I had acne, and you had the bumps, and then I was fearful of the spots that it may leave. When your skin fussy, and then you have to go put something to get rid of it. Maybe sometimes some of these dermatologists may have to give their own, maybe, let's say, healthy bleaching thing to get rid of the spots so that it doesn't leave your face, and then give you something to get back to a normal skin tone, that it doesn't look discolored. Because if you suffer from some skin abrasion, it's going to discolor the skin, and you have to get it back to normality. So you may have to use something that is perceived bleaching elements, but it's not really bleaching. It's toning, it's getting back. You don't want to look blotched or discolored or pitchy-patchy. For those who don't understand, you don't want to look that way. And to do this to the mother, it tells a story, my beautiful people. When we hear some things, we have to be very careful, investigating, no matter how it may sound. And in fairness to me a little bit, because we have a sort of a bleaching culture, and it could be for various reasons. I can't even judge people now. Some of them have said that they get better treatment when they're brown. So you realize, there has to be some retraining. Some, because of the discoloration, they feel that if they bleach, they can bleach and get back to it, and then they get used to it. It becomes habitual, and now it is hard to stop. But it tells a story that when we hear information, it's best to wait before we comment on it. It is really, no matter how bad it may sound. I know sometimes for vloggers and bloggers, you want to kind of have something to go with and run with, but it's better to wait. Patient man, as them say, patient man ride donkey. Patience is a virtue. And because in using the laws of induction, meaning amassing the information in that we have a systemic problem of bleaching here, I would not be far-fetched in thinking that that is what the mother would do. So it's not a far-fetched reality. It's not unknown to us. So people who would have vlogged on it, and that is why I'm so glad, mother, I was one of them that said it makes no sense to curse you out. I did not. Thank you, God, because I really would have felt 10 times as horrible. And so my apology to you, mother. I just wished I had just waited, but because I saw it on the social media, online, in one of the news media outlets, and then it came on the news afterwards. I said, boy, this thing is really serious. And even the following day, it came on. As a matter of fact, I think I waited the next day. It wasn't the same day. And I'm disappointed in the media and the other relevant people who did this to the mother. Shame, 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 shame. Very shameful. Guys, you know what to do, rate TikTok and YouTube, subscribe, and give me one